Good morning all, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar organized by Department of Commerce of Srinarayana College, Natiga in association with IQAC of the college. Before starting the session, I would like to give certain instructions that you have to follow in this webinar. I kindly request everyone to keep your microphone in mute mode so as to avoid interferences and noises. During the session, if you have any query or need any help, you can use the chat box. After the presentation, there will be an interaction session where you can ask your queries and pose questions directly to the resource person. 30 minutes past the webinar, we will post a feedback form in the chat box where you can mark your attendance. Kindly note that the feedback form will be active only at the end of the session. Now, let me formally begin the session. Let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Lt.Lovji.K.N, Department of Commerce, Srinarayana College, Natiga, today's webinar coordinator. I begin the session by welcoming our beloved principal, Dr. Reena Ravindran, who is presiding this webinar. I also invite our IQAC coordinator, Dr. P.S. Jaya, our head of the Department of Commerce, Srimati Pravina Vijayan, and all the teaching and non-teaching staff of the college. A warm welcome to the participants as well. Let me turn my time over to our honorable resource person and chief guest of the day, Lt.Lovji.K.N. She is the assistant professor of English, Vimala College, Thrissur, and also associate NCC officer of 7th Kerala Girls Battalion, Indian Army flag. Speaking of her accolades, she is All India Gold Medalist for overall best performance at the Officers Training Academy, Gwalior. This medal is won by a Keralite after a span of 21 years. She has got Director General's Plaque of Honor for standing first in the Order of Merit in the pre-commission course for Associate NCC officers from the NCC headquarters, New Delhi. She won the Excellence Award for Lectureship and Instructional Practice instituted by Officers Training Academy. Also won Vidya Ratna Puraskar of 2017 in recognition of outstanding achievement for education by JCI. Also won the Role Model Lady Award of 2018 instituted for the most inspiring personality by the Lions Club Regional Chapter of Thrissur. Also won Achiever of the Year Award by Cadets Club Thrissur Chapter for the meritorious service through Youth Organization for Social Impact, enlisted and honored as the most inspiring woman by the Regional Head Office of South Indian Bank. Out of her 2 post-graduations, she secured the first rank in MA English Literature from Calicut University. She is a resource person and master trainer for the Additional Skill Acquisition Program under the Higher Education Department, Government of Kerala. She presented over 25 research papers at various national and international conferences and published articles in acclaimed journals. She is editorial board member of Review Journal of Social Science and Philosophy, published from New Delhi, an active participant of Swachh Bharat Mission, and also a regular speaker on All India Radio. She also has certification as Special Police Officer. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome to our resource person, Lt.Lovji.K.N. Now I invite our principal, Dr. Reena Ravindran, for the presidential address.
Good morning. Thank you, Srila. Good morning, Lieutenant Lovji. I'm extremely delighted to have a very vibrant resource person with us for this session. As mentioned in your resume, you are a very vibrant person who has a lot of accomplishments. To your credit, we are very happy to have you with us today. And in this situation, when the whole world is uncertain about the future, when we all are undergoing stress and anxiety, I think your talk will be really motivating and inspiring for the student community. So I wish the program all success, and I thank the Department of Commerce for coming up with this wonderful program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Before starting the presentation, I kindly request everyone to pin our resource person, Lt.Lovji.K.N. Now I invite our resource person, Lt.Lovji.K.N. to handle the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Srila ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, SN College Natika, for organizing such a program. And this is obviously the need of the hour. I hope I'm audible to you. Yes?
Yes, it's audible, ma'am.
Definitely. Now, this chat box here on our right can be used to communicate. Don't wait for the interaction to happen at the end of the session. You can interact straight away using the chat box anytime. I'll be available. All right, so begin with this session today. I'm all excited that you are all ready to speak and interact over a platform online, even under this pressing situation. That itself shows how surviving kind of attitude we have. And let me bring your attention to the first three words in my topic: clean, clear, clarity. Okay, there wouldn't be much of clarity in how those three words are fitting in there in the title of my presentation. But definitely, I promise you by the end of the session, you will have a better clarity on what is the kind of clear, clean, clarity attitude that I'm talking about. So this session is going to be a bit fast paced. This is going to be a new experience. Definitely, the session is for those who believe that they are super successful. All right. Definitely, the session is for those who believe that they have very well failed in their life. All right. So, what I mean to say is, you fail, you succeed, least matters. It's all the more very important whether you are ready to speak across such a platform, whether you are ready to talk about yourself, you are ready to think about yourself. I told you this is going to be a new experience. Why a new experience? Because I'm going to tell you how to face a new experience. May that be good or bad. All right? And there are certain things that stops you in a way to succeed. I don't actually believe in the word success. Okay, but then on our pursuit to our goal, there are certain things that stops us, and definitely you need a very good friend of you or a person in your life to tell you that there are certain things that has to be set right. Dear friends, just to check whether you are all available here, tell me, do you have that one person in your life who supports you at times when it is very much needed to you? It can be your mother, it can be your parent, it can be your father, it can be your best friend, it can be your very good neighbor, it can be your colleague, anybody. Oh, yes. Mahati ji, you are the first one to give me the first. For me, initiation is very, very important. And I have so many Sanjana, Grishma, Ashwini, Ajita, Indu, everybody responding in the spur of the moment that shows that you're with me. Yes, you have that one wonderful person in your life. And if you do not have, do not worry. The thing is that the person is there. It is very much there. We couldn't see that. We haven't waited to see that. I, I invite your attention to another word in my title that is definitely see. All right? Now, by the end of this session, I promise you that you will be able to see a better you and see that you thought you have never seen before. How? Okay, before getting into the wonderful possibilities that is ahead of us, I will take you definitely to the negatives. If you fear the negatives, I don't care because I do. And I believe that that negative that I'm pointing towards you will let you plan, think for yourself what is it that you actually need. So the first thing is that the problem lies in our notion of failure. You agree? It is all in the notion of failure, our understanding of the term failure, that the problem lies. Recently, I watched a movie, Chichore. You might have watched that. It's a Hindi 2019 movie starred by Sushant. Okay, yeah, yes, those who have seen that. Okay, in the movie, there is a very, very meaningful, very, very strong message given in there. You have a boy who jumps off his flat and tries to kill himself because the reason is just that he failed in an entrance. Come on, look at that. He failed in an entrance and he thinks that it's end of it is the end of it, and he is getting ready to jump off this. So the problem itself is stated in the movie. It says that the problem is what after success is always something we discuss. When you think about, you might have planned your future. You might have, after 10th, I'll be doing that. After 12th, I'll be doing this. After degree, I'll be going for this, that. You have, after accomplishment as an assistant professor, I'll be doing this, that. For my PhD, I'll be doing this. There's 1,000 things that you would be planning for yourself. But you do not plan for your failure, right? Okay? You do not think about what after a defeat. Why? What stops you from thinking the other way? Why don't you think that what would I do after a failure? This is what I'm making you think, that you have the other side to think of. That is one problem. You agree with me? Yes, our notion of failure is to be corrected. Our notion, we always connect failure to self-worth, what I am. When something happens, when you go wrong, when it goes wrong in entrance, you think that I'm done now, it's over. It's over. I could make it. No, don't do that. Don't do that with yourself. That's wrong. Second point, okay? You carry two waste emotions with you, two unnecessary, stupid emotions with you. Yeah, which would be that emotion that is not necessary in your life. You can use the chat box. You can comment. Let's get interactive. Do not worry. Just type out what comes in your mind. Huh? What is it that would be a waste kind of emotion that you should be carrying when you could carry something else in your box? Okay, the first one is nothing but what you call as guilt. Guilt of the past. Guilt of the past. Why do you carry that? Why do you carry that? It's not at all needed. And then the next one is something that the worry about the future that you carry with yourself. So one from the past and one to the future. Very unnecessary things that you carry with you. See, now if you have a very good friend of you to tell you that, hey, come on, yaar, it's all right, hota hai, it happens. Look at the other way, look at the brighter side. That makes the difference. Then this guilt feeling becomes a lesson from the past. You understand? You're with me? Yes? Wonderful. Then this guilt feeling becomes a lesson from the past. And the worry, the word worry that we call, that puts you in trouble, that asks you, should I or shouldn't I? That worry becomes face the fear. Face the fear. That lets you face things differently. So why carry all these guilt and worry inside you as a problem? The problem itself is an illusion. Why do you carry those things when that can be seen from the other perspective as a lesson and an ability to face the future? You understand? Yes, and as we move ahead, another kind of problem is that you have a feeling that those who are achieved something, that is security. You have got a job, and I have done it for poor people, for one there. She couldn't make it. I sympathize on that. Do you think achievements are success? Are the points of success? Do you think that is the reference of success? Not at all. Don't ever dare to assume that once you have achieved something, that is where your security lies in. No, there are so many things beyond that you need clarity on. So many things that is demanding to be clear. And the fourth point that I would be telling you as problem is your approval seeking behavior. You have seen small children. So what do? They just look on to their parents. I'm talking about toddlers. They do something and they look on to their parents' face and just see to their expression for their approval. See, that happened in the childhood. Don't carry with your life. Don't carry that ahead. What you should be doing instead is you should be we always say grow up, grow up. This is actually what it means to grow up. Just don't wait for somebody else's approval. When you think, when you think that you could make a decision, when this is the choice and this is a path for you, don't too much rely on other person's face and facial expression to give you approval. You understand? And for that, you may have to stop doing two things. One is there is no need of sugarcoating anything. The things that just to be put on straightforward has to be done so without sugarcoating. And another thing that is to be stopped is apple polishing. Don't think that you're so good that others should look at you and learn from you. No, there is always a scope in you to chisel and grow. Every time, chisel, prune, refine, and then grow. So these are the four problems that I identify with my experiences, with my audience, and with my students. I experience this is major problems. There would be yet many other problems, but these are the things that actually constrains us from getting that clear idea of our own life. So these are the four problems that we have to how to. We always rely on circumstances. We say, oh, the situation, I had to suffer a lot in my life. I had seen the worst of my lives. And you always have the tendency to blame the circumstances. And what are you doing when you blame the circumstances? You are questioning your own self-worth. What do you mean by self-worth? The identity, the quality that your parents, your family, your friends, your teachers have imbibed in you, have chiseled in you so strongly. Never question that self-worth. No, don't do that to you. Don't do that. Never question your name. No, just imagine when a parent gives a name to the child, you give the best sounding word that you have loved your life to the child. As a mother, I understand that. I gave the name to my children, the best sound that I thought, and I love the name. So you don't have to never question that. Never question yourself whether you're questioning the way you are brought up. I'll tell you another way how you should be dealing with this question of looking into yourself. How to face the brute. Did you get that statement, friends? Face the brute. Okay, I'll tell you the story of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is a renowned Indian philosopher, needless to say, who has brightened the paths of many, still brightening the path and lives of many. Okay, once in Sarnath, he was returning from Durga temple, and on the way, he had to pass through a very narrow passage. And one side there was a pond, so it was very difficult to move on to that side. And the other side there was a huge wall. So he had to pass through that very narrow path. Okay, and as he was passing, there came in so many monkeys, roadside monkeys, screeching, howling, making noise. Okay, and what happens is that he got frightened. All of a sudden, when these animals comes in, definitely Swami Vivekananda got frightened. He didn't know what to do. He started taking steps back, and with every step he get back, the monkey started coming over to the friend and started howling and screeching at him, and it started clutching his. All right, you're with me in the story? Yes. And then suddenly a sannyasi from nowhere says, face that brute. He says, face that brute. Immediately, Swami Vivekananda gains his senses. That's what I told you. You need that one friend, that somebody in your life to tell you that. Though you know it, you know that you have to face it, but you need that somebody to tell you that. Face it. Face that situation forward. And here, that sannyasi, that nobody in his life comes in and tells him that, face that brute. Somehow, all his senses start working. His brain starts working, and immediately he thinks what he has to do, and he very openly starts moving ahead. And when the sudden reaction came from Swami Vivekananda, these monkeys started retreating back. So that was a very big lesson. That message is very simple, very simple, my dear friends. It's just face the brute. It's just face the brute. But then this statement, you note it somewhere. You can use this 1,000 times in your lifetime. thousand times. Whenever you think that you are stepping back from what you should be doing, there will be thousand kind of situation. And I'm sure in this all 179, 178 participants in front of me, definitely you will be in any kind of situation that I have told you right now. And if there is a situation where you are thinking of stepping that step back, understand this is not what is to be done, and there is somebody telling you, there is me who is telling you, face that brute. And this lesson is not for this hour. I don't mean it for hour. This hour is important for me because I and you, I am given a wonderful golden opportunity to tell what the philosophies I believe in. And I am sure there will be thousands of my friends listening to me, taking in the same message. And you will be passed. Why I say thousands of is because when this word that I give you, the face, the root, I got it from Swami Vivekananda. I imbibe that so much in my life. I believe and I trust it. When I say, Lovji, face the brute, I get some kind of energy from. I don't know. And I very much rely on that. And that still gives me a lot of strength. And definitely, friends, you will be, and each of you will be saying this to you. You will be academician, you will be students, you will have friends, you have family. Definitely, next time you have a situation, you'll be saying, hey, champ, face the brute. You agree? Yes? Wonderful. As we move ahead, just tell me which are the C words that you have already C. When I say C words, C is an alphabet that I always sympathize to because it does. It's an alphabet that doesn't have a sound of its own. It has to rely on some other alphabet to have its sound. It is either S, K, Ch, but always it takes other sounds and it needs some of the alphabet to. It's very forlorn, but it is forlorn, it is alone, but it is not powerless. It is very, very powerful because the most important words in your life that makes you live comes from C. Take my word. It comes from C. Yeah, can somebody tell me which are those C words that have made you live, that have prompted you to live your life to the best? Can anybody? Yes, you can type it in the chat box. You need not you not say that in the mic. You can use the chat box over here. You can type the C word here. All right? You can use that. Yeah, tell me which are the C words that you have. Yes, you have your character coming in, you have your compassion coming in, you have your confidence coming in, and so many other C words. You can think for yourself, and I'm 100% sure there would be so many words coming in, and you will be in a dilemma whether to say that or not to say that. Whether I'll go wrong, if not, I'll be on the right side. Okay, leave aside all that. By the end of this session, you will definitely have a clarity on whether you should say that or you shouldn't say that. Okay, the first thing is, I would say, that is the courage. The C word that I take in my life is, I simply love the word courage. It has done a lot in my life. I've seen it doing so much in lives of my friends, my family, and people around me. I have seen this courage working miracles in those who I admire always in my life. Yes, now I'll tell you the first thing. That courage is something that you need to dream. I'll tell you the story of a frog. It may sound simple, but I'll definitely tell you. You should take the story, please. Okay, once upon a time, hundreds of years ago, there lived a frog with green, glassy, round, huge eyes. And what happens with this frog is that it gets a very different passion. Okay, it wants to climb up a tree beside that pond. Also, that was a very huge, very majestic tree. Now the frog, it's a frog after all, the green sticky frog. It wants to climb up that huge tree. Now, when a frog says, I want to, the society says, the world says, hey, you want to climb a tree? Are you supposed to do that? You are supposed to be in the water. You are supposed to be on the land. And now you shouldn't be climbing the tree. That's not something made for you. Isn't that what the world will say? Now, this frog is very, very daring one. Says, I want to do that. You need courage, my dear friends, to say that. This is what I want. Appa, Daddy, this is what I want in my life. Amma, This is what I want in my life. Hey, friends, this is what I'm going to get in my life. You need courage to say that. You need a lot more of courage to say that. And here, our little frog, that green, slimy thing, says that it has the courage. It says, his friends, I am going to climb that tree. I have to get to the top of that majestic tree. And what everybody does, the same thing that others do to us. When we say, what do they do? What am I saying? You're a frog. You cannot do that. You shouldn't be doing that. You'll come down. You'll end up dead. No, don't do that. So the name of this frog is Ludo, by the way, Ludo. And there is Judo, his friend, Lily. There is so many other frogs in his company. They all come in together and say, "You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Look at look at the expression that I do. Okay, this is the way they do. You're going to do that. You cannot do that. You will be dead." But the frog climbs up with all its passion, with all its energy, gets to the top, and with a winning face looks down to others. Now, this is not a story by Lt.Lovji. This is a story extracted from stories by Lord Buddha. The thing is, the frog was deaf. It couldn't hear the negativity that the others were saying. Those feelings that it was instilled by others, that those discouraging words was not heard by the frog. Instead, what the frog felt is when the others were doing this, it felt that they are all motivating him. Yes, you can do that. Do it. Get to the top. And he took that as an inspiration. So it says, Buddha says, let not your fear be deaf to those negativity that pulls you down, because the best is awaiting you. The best is inside you. Have clarity on what you think, because the mind is everything, and all is in the mind. And had the frog listened to all those discouraging negative words, will it ever reach the hell? No, not at all. You got my point? Yes? Wonderful. There we go. So the first thing is dare to dream and talk about it. It's important that you talk about it. Don't think that they will say that, hey, what is this show going on? No, never. Talk about it. It's very important. Next is to see the current reality. The next once you have the courage to dream and to talk about it, the next point that you should be thinking about, you should be 100% convinced, is to see the current reality. Current reality. It's not necessary that you are always in the state of accomplishment. You cannot remain, believe me. I told you in the very first point when I discussed about the problems, accomplishment, success, achievement. It's not everything. You cannot say that, okay, I'm accomplished, then I've got a job, I'm settled, I'm financially fit, I'm okay, I have everything. No, that's untrue. That's not real. It can be accomplishment or it can be defeat. Whatsoever it is, you have to see the current reality. You find a C there in the current reality? Yes, take it as the next C. Current, you are facing the current reality, good or bad. Not all the days will be good and not all the days will be bad. All right? So just understand that. It's very important that somebody tells you that. That is why I tell you that. Because you know everything. We know everything. You open up the Instagram, you open up the Facebook, there is motivation and inspiration flowing in. But that is directed to all. That is open to all. And it's not necessary that you take in the right message. It's not intended or directed towards, but you have to understand, you have to draw it in. It's very important that you have the ability. So that for that you need that clean, clear, clarity kind of attitude. Because understand, okay, that message that is for Lovji. Okay, that message that is for this particular person. You understand? Yeah, wonderful. Very good. As we move ahead, see what happens is that when we are very, very comfortable with what we already have, that turns into complacency. So you know what happens is that once you have got a job, you have a feeling that, aha, now I'm settled. Now I can do the way I wish. Until then, you'll be struggling. You'll be doing everything to get that. No, don't get complacent. That is not where the life is leading you to. Never. And what happens if the times are very, very difficult? Oh my God, again, there is a sea there. You get very, very cynicistic. You have the feeling of despair. No, not again. That is not what is wanted actually. Never. Just see the current reality, whether it is good or bad. Leave it. Okay. And when things are not so good with us, what do we normally do? You try to defend it. You get a very bad feedback. You say, "Oh, what is the silly lady saying all this?" You There's no point in getting dejected. No, you cannot. What you should be doing is you shouldn't deny deny them. We go for this particular psychological defensive techniques where when things happen that we do not like, you either deny it. No, I didn't do it. This is not what I intended. This is not what I meant. These are the things we say. Why do you say that? When you have clarity in what you say and what you do, why should that kind of defensive mechanism bothering you? Next point is we try to repress it inside us. Okay, all the feelings, what is there, you cannot take in criticism. Why? Don't give your key to happiness in somebody else's hands. It is not to be kept in somebody else's pocket. You are the owner of it. You deserve it. You deserve it for your family. And so the key of happiness, your key of happiness, your definition of happiness should be with you. So I don't want, I would always suggest that such kind of defensive mechanism should not interfere into ourself. We don't need that. If negative, it is the second person's feeling. It's their feedback. Just accept it. Okay, you feel so. I understand. Just understand that. That would make wonders in your life. So the first point I would say is the courage to dream. I hope you understood that. Okay, just think of that beautiful frog that dared to dream. The second point is that see, understand. See, just understand the current reality, good or bad, whatever, take it the way it comes. You can. And the third one, very, very important, is the courage to confront, to face it. Again, I told you Swami Vivekananda's story. What is the courage to confront? What is the courage to face it? I'll tell you the story, yet another story of seed A and seed B. Those who have listened, I have friends here who have already listened to me, but then I will definitely say it for all those who haven't heard that from me. All right? Yeah, very good. So here, seed A and seed B, they were on the ground. Okay, it was spring season and they were ready to sprout. Seed A thinks that, oh my God, I have to send my roots down to the soil. I have to send it up up above this soil crust, and I have to see the sun, and I have to feel the beauty of the dew on my leaves. This is what seed A thinks. On the other side, there is seed B. All right, seed of a plant, seed. Clear? Yes. Seed B thinks, oh my God, how do I go so deep in the dark in the soil? How do I send my roots? It may get decayed. And see, look at my delicate sprouts. What if it goes up, breaking this very very strong crust of the soil? And what if a snail eats it up? And if at all it somehow grows, manages to bloom, what if a child comes in, pulls it out? Oh, I don't want that to happen. So, do you think there is a difference in the way seed A thinks and seed B thinks? Yes. Seed A and seed B thinks differently. Now it's your choice to be seed A or seed B. Now it's you who should be deciding whether you should be seed A or seed B. Definitely, you will have a tendency to move on to the seed A side because we are inclined to be on the side that sounds good, right? But that is not the case, my dear friends. You cannot be always on the seed A side. You cannot be always on the seed B side. Okay, so the thing is that there will be situations in our life where sometimes we become, okay, it is unintentional, but become we have no option. We become seed B kind of. It's natural. It's natural. So there are certain things. There are certain seeds in your life that will pull you towards seed A, being seed A. Next time you move towards seed B, say to yourself, no, 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 this is not exactly what I want. This I want to be seed B. Is the idea clear? Wonderful. I can see that on your expression. Good. Wonderful. So that is the next point you should be thinking of. Next thing is once you learn to confront it as seed A, the seed A kind of confrontation. Next, what you need is you have to courage to be confronted. Come on, it's not just one way. It's not just one way because after my session, definitely I'll ask you to speak up. I will take your points. I will learn from you. I'm still learning from your expressions that you're giving me. Definitely. So it's not just one way. You have to have the courage to be confronted because person A, person B, person C, everybody comes from different background. Everybody has different set of learning, different reference point. So all these things are to be put together. When they come together, you become an entirely different person with a different set of mentality. So you have to be ready to take the kick. Don't always wake up early morning, awake, arise, and shine to the morning, thinking that all is gonna be good. No, it's not so every day. No, be ready that okay, I can confront just like how I confront things. I can also be equally confronted. Let it come, and you have what you call your grit. Don't you have the grit? Don't you have the determination? And to face that, it's not always see. I may not have an answer to everything because I'm not perfect. I have very understanding that I may not be able to answer all your queries because I still am learning. Okay, that understanding that there is always a space. Say, oh, is that so? I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know that. When you put aside your ego there, you get a better understanding. Excuse me. Okay, there was some technical error. Let's continue. All right, you're with me? Wonderful. Okay, so I was talking to you about the grit and determination that you should be having, the courage that you should be having to be confronted. So, see, some of your friends say, hey, that's not the right. You post, what you do is you post a pic on the Facebook page or Instagram page. There will be good comments and bad comments. You get enthralled by the very good comments over there. Oh, wow, beautiful, wonderful. All those wow things, stupendous, everything makes you very, very happy. But then just when somebody puts something to rock you, there you're done. You try to defend that person. Why? That's a take it. Take the confrontation. Take the confrontation. And that is not very easy, my dear friends, as we say. It is not very easy because we human beings are made of so much of ego, so much of yes, already preset. And it is not very easy to outdo all that. It requires a special set of skill called the mind skill to deal with such kind of situations as we call. We don't fear the circumstances and situations. It may come, it may happen. Let it come the way it wants to. But then definitely we have to control a situation of what is leading us. Look into the for that you should be able to see yourself. I'm again taking you to the see that. So once we discussed the courage to dream, we had the courage to confront, to see the current reality. I told you of the courage to confront the situation. I told you of the courage to be confronted. Now I'll tell you of the courage to learn and grow. Oh, what is there? We always grow. We even otherwise we grow. Or why do we require that courage? You require that courage because today's learning is not requirement, is not tomorrow's requirement. See, even teachers struggling with online sessions, they would know at least that requirement of a teacher has changed. The screen presence, it's not looking into the eyes of the student and knowing the feeling of the student. It's more about looking out of the screen and assuming that this is exactly what is going in the mind of the student. All right? Doesn't that happen with you? Yes? Yes. So the circumstances when they change, the requirement of success also keep changing. So every day you have to understand that you have to learn and grow and keep yourself open to that. And then again, what you should be stop doing that. Stop three P's, P, that is pin to past patterns. So some people, when they teach students, maybe in the case of teachers, I can relate more to the teachers. They use the notes that they have learned in their school, colleges. So what happens? You're pinning to the past pattern, and but the demand of the new world is entirely different. It's not the same thing. Hey, get motivated, do that. No, that kind of skill I am giving you. Even I have given you lives and examples. I never motivated you. I never inspired you. And I have no intention to at all. Because I don't think that is needed to anyone. What is needed is somebody, the importance of telling each other all these things. That is important. That is my point. When you talk about such kind of things, you get to see yourself better. My interest is completely on the clarity that you get when you are confronted. You understand? Yes. So never don't pin yourself to past patterns. Cut it off. It's just like looking into the rear view mirror and driving the car. What happens when you look into the rear view mirror? It's good to look back. You have to have just take a glance into the rear view mirror. You should be driving, looking straight, just giving a glance to the mirrors, not always looking back. You cannot. Again, here at this point, I point to the problem that we discussed in the first part of the session. I told you two waste emotion that you carry, your guilt feeling and your worry. Todo. Leave it. Who wants that? Nobody's interested in that. Meet the world where it is. And once you cultivate that attitude, definitely you have a clarity on how you should be looking at yourself. You feel better, definitely. Next point that I would like to discuss is the courage to be vulnerable. What do you mean by vulnerable? You know, the greatest shocks in our life comes from the people close to us, not from the enemies. The blows are never from the enemies. You know, maybe you may be get hurt. Somebody may take advantage of you. Somebody may exploit you. Somebody may shock you with their sudden attitude. Okay, so the greatest pains may come from the people you think would be very much close to you. So in such situations, how do you face it? You cannot call them brute. You cannot say face the brute there. You need a different set of strategy there, right? So that is where you should have the courage to be vulnerable. You did not fight back. You did not shout at them. No, but have that poise, have that composed feeling. Just understand that will do. And when I say understand, it just becomes, you just have to let things go sometimes. You may have to understand the other person's emotions many a times. You may have to respect their emotions. May there be sometimes it will be of a small child. Like I tell you an example. Okay, there is a father and a daughter. Okay, now this father is in a very hurry. Daughter is just a 5-year-old child. Father is in very hurry. He has got a meeting to be attended, and he takes his bag, his laptop, and takes his car and rushes. And this poor little girl, she runs down. Okay, she runs down to meet her father for that goodbye kiss that her father used to give every day. See, I'm talking about emotion, the small, simple, subtle things in our life that matters. And what happens? The girl is so sad seeing her father left without that good morning, goodbye kiss. It's a small thing, but not to that small baby. She immediately rings up to the dad and says, Papa, you forgot the goodbye kiss. Okay, but it's okay, Papa. It's all right. She's sad. It's very much reflected in her voice. Okay, and she she finds that day very very difficult. She finds that breakfast is not very tasty. She finds her bags are heavier than the other days because it's all in the emotion. And she walks to the school. She thinks it's a long way to the school, not like the other day. Okay, all this is because she has missed something very much she loved. Okay, and she moves to the school. Suddenly, as she's walking by the side of the road, a car comes and stops near her. and her father runs to her and hugs her and kisses her. The child smile of, just imagine the smile of the child. Just imagine what feeling the child would have got. And mind you, nobody is going to remember that the person was late for a meeting. Leave the time management issue there. Come on, Chodu. Nobody is going to remember that you were late for the meeting, 5 minutes late for the meeting. But the child, after 15, 20, 25 years, the child is going to remember that feeling she got when her father ran up ran out just to give her that goodbye kiss. You understand? You understand? Yes. So that emotion, that vulnerability, that courage to do things for people who matters in our life, very, very important. You understand? You agree with me in that point? Yes. So that was my sixth point in the C's that we were discussing. That emotion that a child would have had for the father, that emotion that have that what strength, what more strength do you need when somebody is so strong to you? You know that that particular incident would have given the whole strength to the child. Take my word. And then that courage to act. And the courage to act. This definitely, I'll point to that father who came from the office. I know for him that day would be very, very decisive. For him, that meeting would be very, very important. There would be people waiting for him, but he cared for the one who meant a lot to him. So that courage to act in a situation without fearing what the others will think, to prioritize, that is the word, prioritize what is important for me and what is not important to me. That priority is very, very, very important, my dear friends. And that priority, you get to know which is which is important to you only when you have that clean, clear, clarity attitude. That is what I'm pointing to. You may have to risk your ego many a times. You have to risk your personality too. It's not the personality, it's sometimes the feelings that matters. And I strongly believe as you act, so you become. I repeat, as you act, so you become. It's all in what you do. It's all it's all about how you make the other person feel. Are we not surviving? This is a terrible situation. We are going through the difficult of the times. We do not know what is going to happen next in our life, what is going to happen to the society, what is going to happen to the world. But are we not surviving? And even this webinar, isn't it not a step ahead to come over into a platform and talk about what can be done to survive it? Are we not doing the same thing? Are we not giving hope? Are we not relying on the seas of the life? Are we not talking about all the possibilities ahead of us still? Because we human beings, I told you the story of Swami Vivekananda. I told you the story of Lord Buddha. I told you the story of the father and the child. I told you the story of the seed. You know, what does all these things point to? It's not over. It's all inside you. It's all within you. See that better you. And once you have that clean part of the soul clear and the clean thought, take my word, you will have a clear conscience and you can think better. I'm so happy you're with me. I can read it from your expressions. Wonderful. Okay? And once you know that whether you feel is or you feel you feel oh, you feel wow. Okay, it can be anything. When you have a clear conscience, you have clarity in your vision. You know what is to be done and what not to be done. You know how to come out of the laziness and how to instill enthusiasm, the very beautiful word. Oh my God, I love the word enthusiasm. You have that, you have everything. You have enthusiasm, nobody around you. You know, I always believe in micro expression. You would have seen me throwing a lot of expressions, right? I believe in micro expression. I believe in the microbiome. You know, when you get to somebody, the person has to get the feel that you are near. That microbiome kind of feeling is very, very, very important. You understand? And that you get when you have a clean, clear, clarity kind of attitude. You see your life better. You see yourself better. You find your clear soul to be very, very clean and your thoughts to be clear. And nothing is going to stop you then. Nothing is going to stop you there. This is what I would like to convey These are the C's that I have trying to point to you. These were the different kinds of courage that I'm asking you to take up in your life. And definitely that is going to lead you ahead in your life. This is what I hold on to. And definitely that is going to be a great strength to you too. Have a great, wonderful life, my dear friends. Best wishes. With this, I end up the session. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you so much. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the platform is open for interaction. If you have any queries, you can directly pose questions to our resource person.
Isn't the chat box active? Isn't the chat box
Yes, the
active?
chat.
You can ask the questions here too. Okay?
Yes, some questions are there in
Okay.
chat box.
I really appreciate the way you have responded through the chat box. I really take that. And even your expressions, I could read that. It shows that we have very well overcome. We have overcome the situation. Not this coronavirus is not going to stop us, my dear friends. We are going to make it. We are going to live through it. We will not stop talking. We will be meeting. We will be living by each other. Definitely. Yeah, somebody is asking for depression, asking the reasons for depressions. There is no chance for depressions until, other than your biological factors. Okay? It should not affect you. No depression should affect you. And when you have right kind of attitude, right kind of people, my dear friends, when you have the right, hunt for it. Who is that person in your life who you can ring up to? Hey, dear, Cham, I'm in a trouble. And somebody should be there in your life telling you that, come on, cool, yeah, take it easy. We'll find some other ways. Just that word from you. Oh, come on, don't always be a listener. Make sure you say that to somebody that your problem, I have solutions. All right? Somebody is asking me, where you like this from your childhood? Yeah, my parents are the reason. My family is the reason. My lovely friends are the reason. And I have let me tell you, I have this program attending some of my seniors over here. They're my teachers, they're my mentors. I wonder they're listening to what I'm saying. I'm so thankful to you too. How do someone not grow when there are people like you all in our lives? Yeah. Please come up with the question in case. Okay. I'm so happy to see you all. It's your very confident kind of looks and so nice meeting you all. Very good, very good. There's Premlal, sir. You've been very patiently listening to me. Thank you so much, sir, for your very patient listening. And Lakshmi, yes, Lakshmi CM, Sona Ramachandran. See, I'm not reading out the names because I can see everybody. You're all, you have been listening so patiently. Thank you. If there are no queries, okay. Do you think if the deaf frog fall from the tree that it will try again to climb? If I was wonderful question, Aparna Ullas, I love the question. If you think if the deaf frog, I really love the way you think. Wonderful, yeah. If you think the deaf frog fall from the tree, that it will see. That is where you need the courage, yeah, to be confronted. Okay, you may slip down. It's natural. Feel free to fall down here. What are you going to lose? Pat it off. Chalo. Try again. Who is going to stop you? Your key to happiness is in your hand and nobody else. You are in charge of yourself. Nobody else. Nothing matters. Catch it up. Climb back. If it was me, I would have done that. I would have climbed and I would have taken a selfie and posted that in the Instagram too. Thank you. Yeah, I cannot take all your time. How did you face the bad situation in your life? just like how I told you. I have been sincere to you all this 1 hour. I have told you only those things that I have faced in. I have had many bad situations, even just like everybody. Okay, this is my attitude. I look into myself. I look at the brighter side. I think about my parents. See, they have such wonderful lessons. Okay, they have everything. They know everything in the world. I have any problem, I have any doubt, even regarding my subject, they may not know the subject at all. My mother knows nothing about the subject I'm teaching, but I go and hug her. I get the answers. That is how it is, how it works. Okay, okay. Yeah. And it's not like me encouraging you. We have to do that each other. Do that to your friends. Go home. When I address, I talk, I feel I'm talking to thousands and thousands of people because you 189 people in front of me, you are going to say, talk about face the brute and all the things that I've given you, the story of the seeds, all these things, you're going to pass it on, my dear friends. Don't keep anything to yourself. Chalo, de do. Give it. Don't keep it anywhere. Okay. How did you come with the training with the concept of 3 C's? Your the coordinator is one big reason why I ended up in the 3 C's because she rang up and said, "Ma'am, give me a topic, okay?" And just she told me, "Give me a topic." So Srila ma'am is responsible for that. You have to question her. You have to ask her why she did this to you. Okay, she is the one. She is the one who asked me to give me the topic right now, ma'am. I immediately gave her, "Ma'am, clean, clear, clarity. I don't want anything else. I don't compromise on anything else other than that." What does your sir, Colonel H. Padmanabhan, my mentor, my father, okay, he is asking me a question. How does your NCC training help you to be what you are today? Sir, that has instilled, that has given me a lot of people like you in my life. That is how NCC training has helped me. I have got people like H. Padmanabhan in my life. You know, when people like that is there in your life, you can never go down. I'm sure you people would let me go down. That is the strength. My trust is my strength. Thank you, sir. Shahida ma'am, yeah, I can see you. Thank you so much. Sri Lakshmi, Grishma Girish, yeah, Vandana Agarwal, Agneshwar Jeevan, Adira KS, Maria, yeah, all acknowledgements. Thank you so much.
I think the interaction session, we can conclude it.
Okay.
Okay, now our feedback form is open now. You can mark your attendance there so that you can receive your e-certificate in your email. Okay, now I invite our head of the Department of Commerce, Srimati Praveena Vijayan, for the vote of thanks.
Srila, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Respected Principal Dr. Reena ma'am, our resource person Lt.Lovji.K.N, participants, a warm good morning to one and all. So the ongoing pandemic situation has demanded a strong mindset among all the people in the society, especially the student community. So it's a global crisis we all are facing. And the student community who has passed out this year, they are in a position of uncertainty about their future. They don't know what to do or how to do in this present scenario. So in this context, we, the Department of Commerce, Sri Narayana College, Natia, has decided to conduct this webinar on the topic Clean, Clear, Clarity, the mechanics of exploring the CNU. So ma'am, we had a wonderful session from your part. As I was also in a confusion state as to what you're going to speak about this clear clarity. Now I'm confident enough and have the courage in ourselves, not only the students, but also the teaching community is confident and courageous enough to face this ongoing pandemic situation. So from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of the Department of Commerce, I extremely express our sincere gratitude to you, ma'am, for this wonderful, enlightening, and courageous talk from your side. You have given us the courage to dream, to face the current realities and to face the current pandemic situation. Thank you so much. I also take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to our principal, Dr. Reena ma'am, and the IQAC coordinator, Dr. Jaya miss, for supporting us to conduct this webinar. I also thank the faculty members of our department, especially as you have pointed out, Dr. Srila Krishnan, without whom this session would not become fruitful. She has been behind this webinar for the last few weeks. And thank you, Srila, for arranging this wonderful session for all of us. Last but not least, I sincerely express my gratitude to all the participants who have accepted our invitation and attended this webinar. And I am confident that all have had a clear mind of courage and clarity in yourself after this webinar. Thank you all. Okay, Srila.
Thank you, ma'am. Now the feedback form is open. You can mark your attendance there. Thank you, Lovji ma'am, for giving me a great opportunity. Actually, you are the real motivation behind me and for our department. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for all the participants for the great support. Thank you.
Thank you.